we'll see.
But do you think, are you still, a tough fight, are you expecting to stop him?
I expect him, I believe he will win the fight. How he wins it, we'll see.
The worrying thing is, with Moses' style, he could be landing some serious bombs, sharp bombs, that do a lot of damage to Dillian early doors, so he can never get into the fight. So, yeah, I think it's stacked against Dillian. I'm not saying that Dillian can't do anything in the fight. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, if I'm looking at from the outside in and just looking at how I see, both stages of careers, the styles,
there's a difference. Dillian Whyte for me looks like a guy that's in shape to go the distance, or to at least ask questions of this young pup.
Heavyweight boxing pros have given their predictions for Moses Itauma versus Dillian Whyte, with Frank Warren saying that Moses will win the fight, but admitting it will still be a tough challenge since Dillian can punch hard. He believes Moses can handle pressure and emerge victorious, and makes it clear that he wants Moses to win as he sees him as a future of heavyweight boxing.
What is your forecast for this fight?
I think he'll be in a tough fight. I know he's got the punch power to hurt and stop Dillian Whyte. I also know that Dillian Whyte also has the punch power to cause damage. And the one thing with Moses at the moment is that's not been tested. So we'll see.
But do you think, are you still, a tough fight, are you expecting to stop him?
I expect him. I believe he will win the fight. How he wins it, we'll see. For me, beating him is a big thing.
Right.
However he does it, I want to see the other side of it as well. I want to see him. I want to see him in a tough 12-round fight where he comes for it, boxes his way for it. He's not a one-trick pony. He can box, right? As I say, this is a tough one. This is going to be. This is a fans fight.
Yes, great fight.
That's what it is. It is a fans fight.
Aid Oladipo, a well-known boxing analyst and commentator, points out that Dillian Whyte's recent performances have not been his best, but notes a clear change in the lead up to this fight, with training camp updates and release footage showing completely different Whyte, leaner, sharper, and physically ready. His body condition looking close to the best shape of his career, which could make him a genuine threat to the young and rising Moses Itauma. And Abe believes this transformation means Whyte can ask serious questions of Moses and push him to his limits inside the...
All of us a sudden, people have seen the shape. I saw a video, which I'm guessing you guys have seen as well, Dillian Whyte hitting the heavy bag and doing a bit of shadow boxing. You looked cool. Dillian Whyte, me and G-Man just looked at, didn't we? Dillian Whyte versus Chisora. Dillian Whyte looked in incredible shape there, and I was thinking, if he can get close to that, he's close to that. Dillian Whyte in his last few fights has been around the 260 mark. It might have even been heavy for him. I think he looks low 250s. And all I can ask from a fighter, this is why I get so pissed off with Martin McCauley, just get in shape. Skill's skill. You're not going to change the fighter from fucking where you are to Muhammad Ali. I'm not asking for that. Just get in shape. Dillian Whyte has ticked that box. He's like, okay, if you think I'm going over to Saudi Arabia just to get smoked by this 20-year-old, we'll see. That's what I'm taking from the shape I'm seeing him in. Because he looks incredible. And also, when he's firing out his jab in that little shadow boxing, his arms are so long. Dillian Whyte, compared to his body structure, he has overly long arms. What I'm getting at is that Dillian Whyte can box a bit as well, He's not just a brawler, he's been tagged as a brawler. He can box a little bit. Is he a better boxer than Moses? No. But that jab could be key. Jab's always key, right? We always talk about it. But one thing I see with Dillian Whyte being in this shape is that he's saying, if I can take this young boy past 6, we're going to go into deep waters that this young boy's never been before. And it's all well and good. Moses saying, I'm sparring 10 rounds, I'm sparring 12 rounds. And, I was on Talk when you mentioned this yesterday. Fighting 10 rounds is different. Fighting 12 rounds is different. Dillian Whyte's done that. And look, sometimes Dillian Whyte's blown out his ass. Sometimes Dillian Whyte's been beaten in those 12 round fights. But Dillian Whyte has done that. There's a difference. Dillian Whyte for me looks like a guy that's in shape to go the distance, or to at least ask questions of this young pup.
Lawrence Oakley, a former professional boxer and boxing analyst, says that Moses Itauma has fought some incredible fights and earned impressive wins, yet stresses that none of those victories have come against someone with the experience and caliber of Dillian Whyte, noting that Moses is still early in his career and has not had the years of elite-level ring time that Whyte has accumulated, and that this experience gap could play a major role in how the fight unfolds.
Relax. Moses has been performing under the bright lights, but what I'm saying is, it's still so early and he's got a lot to prove. Up until this point, I can't argue. He's passed every test with flying colours, but the problem is, he's passed so easily. He's missed out on valuable lessons along the way, and he's now got a very experienced veteran in front of him, in Dillian Whyte, who's been at world level. Everybody's written Dillian off, but recently, seeing interviews and seeing training footage, I'm liking what I'm seeing. I've got to be honest, my mind's starting to shift. Let's take a look and discuss the key takeaways.
I don't think I've ever seen you be this big an underdog in a fight. You are like 1 to 14.
They've asked Dillian, how does he feel being the underdog?
And that's what makes it dangerous. As an underdog, you're underneath. You get up at them testicles and lock onto them, and it's game over.
It's crazy, really, because like I said, he's fought at world level, fighting the likes of Povetkin, Fury, Chisora, AJ, Parker. The list goes on, but in sports, you're only as good as your last performance. In Dillian's last fight, he looked terrible, put it politely.
Has he put something in you? Because like your last few fights, everything's like instilled a fear, not
no man is doing anything to me. Pause this.
Dillian does make me laugh. Dark humour. But maybe that says more about me. He says it the way it is. There's no sugarcoating. Dev says, is this the biggest risk he's took in his career? Which again is madness.
All of them have been massive big things. No one's ever had me in favor. Think of one fight I would do. Just think.
Dillian's right. He's always the underdog. It's nothing new.
How do you reflect on your fight with Tessa?
It was what it was. Listen, I've been walking a long, lonely, dark road for 3 years.
This is the thing. People forget that fighters go through things outside of the ring which affect the performance. But us fans only judge the performance. At the end of the day, fighters are human. They're not robots.
And that fight for me was awesome. Can I take a good walk and push through? Can I force myself to put a jab in? Can I?
He admits he wasn't in great shape, but that fight for him was about dipping his foot in the water and seeing if he still got it and still wants it.
I had a few injuries and stuff going to the fight, but it was. But that fight reignited.
Dillian Whyte has been looking great in recent training footage, impressing many observers who previously questioned his form after a period of inactivity and a less convincing last fight. But the latest clips have shifted opinions as he is seen moving with purpose, delivering powerful combinations, and maintaining a focused rhythm in drills, with his physique appearing close to peak shape, resembling the condition he displayed in 2018 when he decisively stopped Lucas Brown. This visual, evidence of renewed energy and discipline, has sparked fresh optimism among supporters who believe he still has the tools to compete at a high level. And as he prepares to face the young and fast-rising Moses Itauma, Whyte's training progress has become a major talking point in the boxing community, raising expectations for a competitive and potentially explosive heavyweight clash.
It's like late 18. Right? I remember him knocking out Lucas Brown. When he knocked out Lucas Brown, he looked like he was in the best shape of his life. He looks similar or better now, which is very impressive. And I think, like Terrence Crawford, people are now looking at this. We see it. When we see results, we start believing in those results. I think now people understand that Dillian Whyte has taken this very seriously. He's been on the ring for a long time. His last two opponents, Witt, Teta, and Hammer, they both quit. And I think that Dillian, this is his last hurrah. It's his last hurrah. It's his last time to shine. He has nothing to lose. Why not go out with a bang? Why not go in the best shape possible? Why not do what you're supposed to do in training camp? Okay, because you can't really predict what happens in that ring except you and that other guy. So you are that other guy. But in training camp, you have a team around you. You have determination. You have motivation. You have discipline more than likely. Okay? And I think that Dillian Whyte is looking great. He is looking great. He doesn't have the unbalanced body type like you normally see him. He's too big upper body, his legs are small. You know what I mean? He's throwing, he's all off balance because of the imbalance of his body. But I do think that Dillian Whyte will come in to make a splash, and this is how he's supposed to look if you intend on doing it. I love the way he looks. He looks great. He looks in shape. He looks like he's ready for a battle. That's what it's about.
Boxing fans and media analysts agree that there is massive pressure on Moses Itauma going into this fight, with many feeling that unless he convincingly beats Dillian Whyte, his early achievements will start to lose value in the eyes of the boxing public. In the sport of boxing, reputations can change overnight, and supporters are quick to judge based on one performance. So a flat or narrow win would not satisfy those who have been calling him a future star and could raise doubts about his readiness for the biggest names in the division, putting Moses in a position where he is fighting for more than just a win on his record. He is fighting to defend the reputation he has worked hard to build and to maintain the momentum that has so far made his rise through the heavyweight ranks look unstoppable.
So much pressure now on this young man's shoulders. Like, if he doesn't look spectacular against Dillian Whyte, all of a sudden people are like, that's how fickle boxing fans are. We're so fucking fickle. If he doesn't look great against Dillian Whyte, we'll be like, he's almost got to ice Dillian Whyte for everyone to say, yeah. You know what I mean? For him to continue that trajectory, because he is like a fucking rocket ship at the moment. Going on the eye test, I think he has absolutely everything. Going on what people tell me about him, I think he has absolutely everything. I hear the sparring story. Guys, there is so much I could share on this channel that I don't. Like, so much. But I hear the sparring stories. I know who's hurt. I know who's wobbled. I know all those things. And he's a bad man. Honestly, he's a bad man. I look at him, it's funny. I don't feel like I'm interviewing a 20-year-old. You know what I mean? He's a man, isn't he? But yet he's a kid. And being a kid isn't a bad thing in the sport of boxing. Because there is that kind of fearlessness, like this youthful exuberance, speed. Not damaged goods. You haven't been through the trenches. Politics in boxing hasn't made you fall out of love with the sport. So, as much as people say lack experience, sometimes lacking experience in those things you just mentioned can't be too bad.
Anthony Yard, a British light heavyweight contender, believes that Moses Itauma has shown greatness from the very beginning, even at just 18 years old. Seeing qualities in him that signal future dominance in the heavyweight division and expressing confidence that he is what it takes to become the next major champion, a belief rooted in both watching Moses in action and recognizing the mentality required to succeed at the highest level.